my name is Brenda, and I'm one of the staff that work here at Allied. Today, I want to talk about staffing. Staffing is probably one of the most difficult tasks and difficult parts of your job as an operator. The difficulty with staffing is that you have to find people who share your philosophy of caring for residents. You need people you can trust, people that have a moral compass, that have integrity, and are dependable. You cannot be in your facility 24/7, so you need to have capable, caring, honest people that will do the job when you're not there just as well as they do the job when you are there. Determining who you want to hire starts with the application. When you're looking at a potential employee, you want to look at where they worked and how long they stayed. If this is their very first job as a CNA or a CMA, you want to look at their previous employees and the same issues. Where did they work? How long did they stay there? How did they view their employment? Why did they leave? Always be aware that if they put on the application that their reason for leaving is personal, or will explain, that usually means that they were terminated from that position. When you're going to interview someone, check the registry before you interview them to make sure their license is current. After all, there's no point in interviewing someone whose license is not current or certification. When you look at their certification or the request for their certification, look at the list of facilities that have also inquired about their certification and compare that to the list that they have put on their application of places they have worked. Sometimes it doesn't mean that they were hired just because someone inquired about their certification, but you can see if there are 25 different facilities listed on that list, and they only put 5 places that they've been employed, there might be some discrepancy there. So you can begin to get a feel for, are they telling you the truth on their application? Because remember, you're looking for people who are honest. Make sure to check their references. Sometimes that feels like a fruitless endeavor because oftentimes you can't get a lot of information, but you can verify dates of hire, and some places will tell you if they would rehire the person or not, again. So that gives you a sense of, again, what kind of an employee were they in their previous places of employment. Develop a set of questions that you ask all your applicants. Look for ways to determine how the person functions as a member of a team. Ask open-ended questions and set up scenarios and ask them to respond to those scenarios. What would you do in this situation? Ask the person about their goals and their plans. You want people who are trying to grow themselves. Let the potential employee know what's important to you. What are your red lines? What are you looking for in an employee? And then there is the 400-pound elephant, actually that'd be a very small elephant, wouldn't it, in the room, and that is wages. Money is not the only reason that a person takes a job or leaves a job. but it is important. Most people work because they need to support themselves and their families. However, many people also work because they want to help others. And this job fulfills both of those needs. But typically, CNAs and CMAs are underpaid for the amount of work that they are asked to do. Realistically, when you think about them, they are the most important people to your residents. They are the face of your facility. How they perform and how they function sets the tone of your facility. So research, figure out what a fair wage is. It can be regional, depending on where you are. The cost of living is maybe less expensive in some places, and so that can have an impact on what a fair wage is. But if you just want to gauge, to be above the poverty line, you have to be able to make at least $12.05 an hour. This means that many of our staff are living right at the edge. They are living either below the poverty line or just right above. Having a fairer wage can take a lot of stress off of your employee. It can help them be a better employee, if you want to look at it that way. Having a little cushion makes a big difference in your life and can decrease stress. Even small increases count. It can mean the difference between having gas to get to work and not having gas to get to work. I think as providers, we have to look at our staff as the most important part of our business, because if our employees are happy, our residents will be happy. Because happy employees give better care. Education is also very important with your staff. Make sure that all your staff know what is important to know about your residents and that they communicate to each other. Many times you will see that there's an employee that works really well with a resident, but other folks have more problems. The importance is that the resident that does really well with that, the employee that does really well with that resident needs to communicate what it is that they do that's different, so that we all can be in the know and so that we can all have successful experiences with our residents. As an operator, you are tasked with certain topics to in-service about throughout the year. Those are all listed in the regulation, but expand your topics. Those are the minimum that list in the regulations. Find the other things that are important to you, what you need to have from your employees. Listen to your staff. As an operator, you don't have all the answers. You will find that if given an opportunity, your staff can help you solve most issues. This enhances the team approach, and it demonstrates that you trust and respect your staff. It helps to foster ownership among your staff. Problems are not just yours, they're everybody's. As an operator, you walk two paths. You want to provide for the residents and make a comfortable home for them. You also want to provide a great work environment for your employees, and you can do both. Part of what helps is to develop clear, concise policies and make them available to your staff. kind to your staff, but clear about your expectations. Be fair with all of your staff, and when you see things that need to improve, then deal with it one-on-one. Assume that your staff want to do a good job and provide them the one-on-one education that they need to do that. And should you have to ever fire a staff, it should never be a surprise to them. You should have been talking and communicating with the staff. They should see it coming. One thing that I would encourage you to do, keep records of those conversations that you have with your staff. You always want to have records. You always want to have documentation of how you dealt with situations and what the result of that was. Typically, the things that are important to your staff are hours, flexible schedules, wages, and time off policies. Insurance can also be a very important thing to them as well. So the more of these boxes that you can meet, the bigger pool of potential employees you will have to pull from.